Good evening, the 26th of April 2026, and what was deemed impossible unassisted is now possible, courtesy of none other than Sebastian Sawe, our very own, doing great there at the London Marathon. This and so much more will be coming up as we focus on matters Sunday Express. But first things first, let us look at those stories that have been making headlines.
Alipata pale town kwa Kamari ikiwa ameketi hapo. Sasa wakati walikuja wakapiga risasi, kijana akakimbia. Wakati alikimbia alimpiga risasi mbili.
Mimi niko na hasira sana na huzuni mwingi kwa kuuliwa rafiki wangu wa mtaani.
Tseikuru retaliatory attacks. More police officers deployed to Kamari in Kitui County following the killing of 7 people on Saturday.
Mimi nasema hapa mbele yenu, huyu mungwana ni mtu wako na akili, ni mtu wako na mpango, ni mtu hana kiburi, ni mtu hana madharau, na ni mtu wa bidii.
Defending Kithure Kindiki, President William Ruto calls for decorum in the conduct of politics in the country. Linda Mwananchi's confident stride. The Edwin Sifuna-led ODM faction says it will field a presidential candidate in the 2027 polls.
Historic performance, 1:59.30. Absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything like that.
And in sports, Kenyan Sebastian Sawe makes history at the London Marathon by running under 2 hours in an official race.
Good evening, I'm Regina. Manyara, and my colleague on sign language is none other than Byron Abuli. This is Sunday Express. Now, the National Police Service has dispatched more security officers to Tseikuru, Kitui County after 7 people were killed following heavily armed bandits launched a deadly attack on a local trading center. Speaking in Kamari Police Post, Deputy Inspector General of Police Eliud Lagat, who visited the area, said that the local police post will be turned into a fully fledged police station. Father Lagat has assured parents of their children's safety as schools are set to reopen on Monday. Here's Abdiaziz Hashim with the details.
Tension remains high in Tseikuru, Mwingi North, Kitui County. This is after heavily armed bandits launched a deadly attack on a local trading center, leaving 7 dead.
Ndugu yangu alipata pale town kwa Kamari ikiwa ameketi hapo. Sasa wakati walikuja wakapiga risasi, kijana akakimbia. Wakati alikimbia alimpiga risasi mbili.
Mimi niko na hasira sana na huzuni mwingi kwa kuuliwa rafiki wangu wa mtaani. Majina yake anaitwa Siengo Mwangangi ama Ngurakuri.
Yaani baba yangu mdogo aliuawa.
Wale wameingia hapa wote tunawajua majina, wale walitenda hicho kitendo.
First and foremost, I want to condemn that kind of heinous, cowardice and barbaric act against innocent people.
On Sunday, the locals armed with bows and arrows converged at the Kamari police post, demanding answers.
Tukiwa hapa watu wanawawa kiolelo-lela, tukipeleka ripoti hakuna hatua inashukuliwa yoyote.
Hata wameona mashimo ya risasi hapo. Na hao watu walitembea, wakikunjwa njuizi, wanatembea kwa mandaa na hakuna response walipata.
Kwa sababu kuna watu wanataka kura na watakuja huku kwetu kutuomba kura. Kwani watapata kura wapi tukiisha?
Lazima tuone kitendo kikitendeka. Wenye walifanya kitendo lazima tuwaonyeshe sisi tuone na macho yetu. Ndio tukubali kwamba mmeamini kwamba mtatulinda.
Hapa Kamari Police mumeona walichezea hapa kwa sababu walikuwa askari wawili. Mimi nitafanya hii post ikuwe police station kuanzia kesho.
Confirming the incident, Deputy Inspector General of Police Eliud Lagat says the attacks point to a pattern of retaliatory attacks involving 2 communities, which he condemned, but assured the locals it will be stopped as more officers have been sent to the disturbed area.
to commence investigation with a view of arresting these people. Listening to the community, these are people who are likely to have come here in a revenge mission.
Lagat further said the victims' bodies bearing gunshot wounds and deep machete cuts were taken to Chuso Level 4 Hospital morgue.
I just want to call upon, and I've talked to the people, to call upon them not to take laws in their hands. I've urged them to seek redress in law.
One man survived the attack but sustained gunshot injuries and is currently fighting for his life at Tseikuru Hospital.
Ndugu yangu mkuu anaitwa mzee. Huyu hakuuawa. Alipigwa risasi ya kiuno ikakwama kwa mwili. Hiyo iko kwa mwili. Amepelekwa hosi.
Lagat also called for calmness and restraint from the locals, calling on leaders to preach peace even as investigations continues.
Na watu already wamekimbia wako msituni pamoja na watoto wao. Shule iko hapa tu karibu, haiko mbali sana. Lakini hakuna mwalimu anaweza kutoka Meru anja hapa kwa sababu amesikia kile kitu kimetendeka huko.
Watoto wameumiza watoto. Kesho tunafungua shule. Hakuna mahali watoto wanaenda.
Hapa kuna shule iko hapa Maseveni. Hiyo watoto hata kuingia, hata walimu. Kwa sababu wanaongopa. Hakuna security.
Hatutakubali hao watu wastopisha vile wewe ulisema watoto wenu wakose kusoma. Si ni kweli? Nani watakuwa viongozi ya kesho? Si ni hawa? Basi tutahakikisha wako na usalama katika mashule zao.
Meanwhile, leaders from the region led by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka and Kitui Senator Enoch Wambua have condemned the incident.
Tujue ni nani ameua watu wetu na ni hatua gani zimechukuliwa za kisheria kulinda mali na maisha ya watu wetu.
Abdiaziz Hashim for Sunday Express.
We'll be keeping tabs on that developing security matter down there in Kitui County, there at Tseikuru. Now to some good news. Kenyan Sebastian Sawe made history at the London Marathon, becoming the first man to run under 2 hours in an official race. Sawe, who successfully retained his title, timed at 1 hour, 59 minutes and 30 seconds, smashing the previous world record of 2 hours, 35 seconds. Meanwhile, the women's race was won by Ethiopia's Tigist Assefa.
Against him.
Defending champion Sebastian Sawe made his move with 1 mile remaining, finally breaking clear of Kejelcha and pressing on alone. He crossed the line in 1 hour, 59 minutes, 30 seconds, taking 65 seconds off the previous world record set by the late Kevin Kiptum in Chicago in 2023 and surpassing Eliud Kipchoge's 1 hour, 59 minutes, 41 seconds exhibition performance from 2019.
Historic performance, 1:59.30. Absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything like that. What a finish. Was probably under 2 hours as well. Paula's just confirming to me.
In the women's race, Ethiopia's Tigist Assefa defended the title, winning in 2 hours, 15 minutes, 41 seconds and setting a new women-only world record. She edged out Kenya's Helen Obiri and Joycelyn Jepkosgei, who finished second and third, respectively.
The champion again in 2026 and will set another women's-only world record by about 10 seconds. Helen Obiri will smash her personal best to take second place.
Frederick Muki for Sunday Express.
This brilliant trio of athletes.
Congratulations to Sawe. They're continuing to make Kenya proud. Now, President William Ruto has called for decorum in the conduct of politics in the country. The head of state defended his deputy, who has lately been the subject of criticism by DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua, describing him as a diligent and humble leader who does not deserve public ridicule.
Niliwaeleza watu wa Tharaka Nithi ya kwamba tutabadilisha mfumo wa mambo ya afya.
In Kindiki's backyard of Chuka, Tharaka Nithi County, the president came to the defense of his deputy, who has been at the crosshairs of his former deputy Rigathi Gachagua in the battle for the control of Mount Kenya. The president told of Gachagua over his attacks, calling on him to accord Kindiki respect.
Kuna watu wako na madharau. Kuna watu wako na kiburi mingi.
wanamdharau huyu muungwana, wanamuita majina, ati soprano, ati nini, ati analamba nini. Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa jamaa, nyinyi mnaomdharau huyu profesa. Huyu profesa anawashinda akili mara 100.
He described his deputy as a diligent public servant who has been assisting him to fulfill his pre-election pledges.
Huyu muungwana Profesa Kithure Kindiki ndio naibu wa rais wa taifa letu la Kenya kwa mapenzi ya Mungu, kwa sababu huyu mjamaa ni mtu ambaye anajitolea kufanya kazi. Mimi nakwambia wewe profesa, usijali na wale wanakudharau, usijali na wale na wanakutukana.
Ati unasema wewe kiongozi wa jamii. Jamii ya nani? You will lead nobody. You will lead nowhere. You will lead no time. Wewe ngoja uone next year tutakumalizia. Mimi na William Ruto tutakutuma nyumbani.
Having been in the region for 3 days now, Ruto faulted the DCP leader, accusing him of advancing dictatorial political tendencies.
Wanataka kuamua ati watatoa ruhusa, ati mtu akitaka kwenda mahali fulani lazima waombe ruhusa. Ati hata mtu anaenda kuona rais lazima amuombe ruhusa. Ati wanatuambia wataamua nani atapata kura wapi, nani atachaguliwa wapi.
Sio lazima ujitangaze kiongozi. Kazi yako kama kiongozi ndio itafanya wananchi wakutambue na wakutangaze kama kiongozi wao.
Kuna wale already wameanza kutumana, na niliambia watu wa Mount Kenya, mnaunganishwa mwaka kwa Kiondoo muende mkauzwe. Tayari wanatuma emissaries. Ni vile tu president ni mtu mngwana, hataki kuambia.
We will not give you conditions that we will elect you if you do this and this for us, because you've done for us before, even when you're not on the ballot.
Ruto, despite criticism by the opposition over the cost of living, says he's undeterred and will continue to make difficult decisions for posterity.
Leadership is not about finger pointing. Leadership is not about looking for somebody to blame. Leadership is about seeking solutions for all the challenges and the problems we have as a nation.
John Jacob Curia, Sunday Express.
Still on matters politics, the united opposition has faulted the Kenya Kwanza government for allegedly failing to tame wanton corruption, which they say is negatively affecting the country's economy. The opposition leaders who have wound up their Coast Region tour further said that most Kenyans have lost confidence in the administration, largely due to unfulfilled development pledges. They, however, express confidence in the judicial system as the DCP leader prepares to attend the full hearing of his impeachment case scheduled for tomorrow, Monday the 27th.
On Sunday, the united opposition took their charm offensive in Mombasa County. Here, the united opposition leaders went bare knuckle on the government, accusing it of failing to tame the ghost of corruption. On his part, the former deputy president, who described his impeachment process as fraudulent and illegal, is expected to attend the full hearing of the case at Milimani Locals on Monday, even as he expressed confidence in the judicial system.
The IMF, the International Monetary Fund, has suspended discussions of financial support to Kenya because of matters corruption. The IMF have told us, they have told the world that they cannot continue engaging with this administration because of the corruption challenges.
Ya kwamba though our parliament was captured, tuna matumaini makubwa kwa mahakama yetu. Our judiciary is our last line of defense.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, who has announced his intention to join Gachagua during the hearing, has in the meantime condemned the Tseikuru killings that claimed the lives of 7 people from the Kamba community.
Serikali ambayo haiwezi kudhibiti maisha ya watu wake, pastor, hiyo haiwezi kuwa serikali. And this thing has been continuing. Tulikuwa wakati ule mwingine upande wa Meru, Lari division in particular, Motuati, that same zone. Ni kama watu wamesaulika na hii serikali.
Elsewhere, leaders aligned to the broad-based government have sharply criticized opposition figures, accusing them of lacking a clear development agenda and engaging in divisive politics for personal gain. Speaking during an interdenominational service at Kapchemugun in Amisi Vihiga County, the leaders led by the Speaker of National Assembly Moses Wetangula accused the opposition of promoting tribal and regional divisions aimed at destabilizing the country.
Na sisi tumeunga marais wa nchi hii tangu mzee Kenyatta tukaunga mkono, mzee Moi tukaunga mkono, mzee Kibaki tukafanya kazi na yeye, hata Uhuru tuliunga yeye mkono akatupika kisogo, hakuwa anatembea huku kwetu.
Sasa wanajiita the disunited alternative government. My friends, I want to tell you, you cannot be an alternative government if you have no agenda, you have no policy propositions to the people of Kenya on how to move Kenya forward.
Hii kikundi ilikuwa Vihiga na wale wengine wa kabila walikuwa Mombasa. Sponsor wao ni mmoja. Msifikiri ati ni vikundi mbili tofauti.
Finally, Nairobi County Women Representative aspirant Masingote has called on Kenyans to register as voters and actively participate in the electoral process, emphasizing the need to elect God-fearing leaders to promote good governance. Speaking during a grassroots engagement forum in Nairobi, Ngoto is vying for the seat under the United Democratic Alliance, said that voter apathy continues to undermine democratic process in the country.
Tuhakikishe raundi hii tunaweka watu ambao wanaogopa Mungu. Si kila mtu ambaye tunaenda kumpatia kiti. Tunaenda kupatia viti wale watu ambao wanafanya nini? Wanamwogopa nani? Wanamwogopa Mungu.
Timothy Kipnusu for Sunday Express.
And political action will continue right after this break on Sunday Express.
$100 million Africans are in the gig economy today. But most are competing alone against platforms they don't control, with policies that weren't built for them. For 15 years, edition by edition, Connected Africa became more than a summit, where policy, innovation, scale, and partnership meet, where startups met investors and scaled across borders. Now you arrive at a defining moment. Connected Africa Summit 2026. Uniting Africa's innovation for an inclusive digital market. Not just a slogan, a statement of intent. Because innovation without inclusion is incomplete. And growth without unity is unsustainable. For policymakers designing frameworks for 1 billion Africans. For startups ready to scale beyond their borders. For investors hunting Africa's next breakthrough. For anyone who believes Africa's digital future should be shaped by Africans. This isn't networking. This is nation building. One connection at a time. Connected Africa Summit 2026. 27th to 30th April. Nairobi.
Is that for sale? The gray one?
Yes, that's for sale.
Bring it.
Sure, sir.
My budget's about...
Why are you still moody? I bought you in a purse. Are you pretending to be rich or just insane, huh? Where'd you get that kind of money?
I'll work hard and buy you a leather one.
Don't buy expensive stuff from me. You like?
Are you ready for the next big thing in tech? Well, we'll spotlight Kenya's brightest young minds, game-changing startups, and breakthrough technology that are shaping our future. From AI and robotics to sustainable futures, we bring you the stories behind the scenes. KBC Channel 1. Remember, tech starts here.
Welcome back. This is Sunday Express, and we pick it up where we left off. Matters politics, where the Linda Mwananchi movement says it will field a presidential candidate in the 2027 general elections, even as their Linda ground counterparts pursue a consensus with the ruling United Democratic Alliance. The team sustained its call for accountability by President William Ruto-led Kenya Kwanza administration on a myriad of governance issues, among them compensation for victims of police brutality. As Wycliffe Okech now reports, the team hailed Kisumu residents maintaining peace during the rally held in the lakeside of Kisumu County, despite earlier threats from rival camps.
After days of tension among locals and leaders from the lakeside Kisumu County regarding the anticipated Linda Mwananchi rally, the team hit the streets of Kisumu City, unrelenting in their call for accountability by the Kenya Kwanza administration.
Ruto aliweka mkataba ya 10-point agenda.
The brigade not only condemned the recent attack on Vihiga Senator Godfrey Osotsi in Kisumu, the leaders also challenged the security docket to apprehend everyone involved.
Sasa niko na ujumbe kutoka jamii ya Mulenda. Waluya wanasema watu wa Kisumu, asanteni sana, kwa sababu baada ya ile kitu ilifanyikia ndugu yetu Osotsi hapa Kisumu, nyinyi ndio mlitambua wale wakora ambao walipiga mheshimiwa Osotsi. Wangapi wamelani wale walimpiga Osotsi? Nione kwa mikono.
Na nyinyi mnajua sisi Waluya na nyinyi Wajaluo, sisi ni kitu kimoja, si ndio? Baba alituacha kama kitu kimoja.
The leaders, among them Edwin Sifuna, James Orengo, Babu Owino and Raphael Tuju, maintained they will field a presidential candidate in next year's polls.
Wewe unasema Ruto tuta, nani alikuambia ODM haiwezi kutoa rais mwaka 2027? Who told you?
Wakasema kwamba ati hao wataki kiti ya president, hao wataki kiti ya deputy president, ati hao wanataka power.
The team vowed not to relent in their push for better governance and accountability by government.
Na tukienda mbele, mimi nataka mshikane kabisa, tukomboe Kenya, tupeleke Kenya mahali Kenya baba alikuwa anataka ikue.
The leaders also lauded Lakeside City residents for ensuring a peaceful meeting despite earlier fears of political confrontations. Reporting for Channel 1 from Kisumu County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Well, now away from matters politics, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to transforming the livestock sector through increased investment in veterinary services. According to the Ministry of Agriculture, the government is finalizing on a livestock master plan aimed at boosting productivity and strengthening Kenya's food security. This comes at the backdrop of the mounting pressure from the Veterinary Board calling for policy reforms in the sector to safeguard the welfare of the professionals and streamline access to veterinary services for all farmers across the country.
As Kenya seeks to tap to agriculture as a sector full potential, which remains the backbone of the country's growth, the Ministry of Agriculture says plans to actualize the Livestock Master Plan are underway, a move that seeks to guide investment decisions, improve data management and unlock the sector's full potential.
The government is finalizing development of a Livestock Master Plan that will provide accurate data and information on livestock resources and available investment options based on the competitive advantages. This should help sustainable development of the agricultural sector.
The reassurance comes amid mounting pressure from veterinarians calling for urgent policy reforms to guide the profession and safeguard their welfare.
Despite a circular from 2008 that required the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to actually pay vets a similar allowances as our medical counterparts. We are engaged currently with the CS and the PS in the ministry. We are putting pressure on the SRC to ensure that that is rectified.
Led by the Kenya Veterinary Board, the vets have raised concerns over the rising number of unqualified practitioners, warning that the spread of quacks is putting livestock production and farmer livelihoods at stake.
So one of the biggest bottleneck we currently face is a mushrooming of quacks. Quacks are people who are out there pretending to be vet surgeons and treating animals, getting money from farmers and not really being of help to farmers.
They at the same time decried the reduced uptake and employment of qualified veterinarians in the country, a situation that has left many farmers relying on traditional methods that affect quality and output.
For example, the pastoral areas contribute about 70% of our herd size in Kenya, but then most of those counties only have one veterinary surgeon or two veterinary surgeons. Those cannot serve counties, let's say Marsabit, which is very wide.
The veterinary professionals who spoke during the African Scientific Congress also advocated for the expansion of access to affordable and quality vaccines, especially in remote areas where disease outbreaks remain a major challenge.
So a farmer has to travel all the way to, large town centers to get those vaccines. By the time they get back to the village, those vaccines are no longer useful to them because the cold chain has not been maintained. So it's a whole system, a whole chain of systemic issues that need to be addressed by.
Is the moment where we are really bringing awareness in terms of the value of vaccination. It's a really good place to do it.
John Kahiro for Sunday Express.
Now, for years, university performance has been pegged on how many students they admit and graduate. But with rising concerns over joblessness among graduates, attention is now shifting to how well universities prepare students for the competitive labor market. Higher education institutions are now under pressure to show clear pathways from campus to employment, with some beginning to adjust their training models to include mentorship, career guidance, and stronger industry linkages.
In Nairobi, graduates, educators and industry representatives gathered for a forum whose focus was on identifying the gap between academic training and job market demands. Discussion centered on the need to strengthen mentorship, expand alumni networks and improve professional exposure for students before and after graduation.
We track our graduates. After they finish, we have a database and where we keep in touch with our graduates. We collect data from the market and collecting data from the employers themselves and also from our graduates, where they are working and in which sector.
The discussions come amid growing concerns over graduate unemployment, with employers increasingly prioritizing practical experience, adaptability and workplace readiness over academic qualifications alone. Employers say many graduates leave institutions over learning with theory but lack the practical skills and exposure required in the workplace, raising questions about how well institutions are aligning training with labor market demands. In response, some universities are now shifting towards long-term strategies that combine mentorship programs, career development support and structured alumni engagement.
We have, for example, AI, which is not an old concept, but already that is ingrained in our learners. And more so, we are training the professors, the lecturers, and in giving them the skills in AI so that they can be able to equip the graduates.
Ben Chumba, Sunday Express.
And that particular story sets the tone for our conversation this evening. We're talking about courses and qualifications there. And joining us this evening on Sunday Express is none other than the CEO of the Kenya Medical Training College, that is Dr. Kelly Oluoch. Welcome, sir. Good to have you on board. The last time KBC Channel 1 was right at your premise during the shift, so it's good to have you in the studio. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here today.
All right. Now that particular piece has just put the matter into perspective. There are those who feel that our tertiary institutions are not doing a very good job in ensuring that the graduates are market ready and they feel that unemployment gap or rather skills gap. What's your take?
I'll take the case of Kenya Medical Training College. KMTC is a state parastatal under the Ministry of Health, charged with the responsibility of training human resources for health for the ministry and for counties and by extension for external markets. Kenya Medical Training College is suited to provide competent human resources for health not only for local consumption, but also for other countries through labor mobility. We do that by ensuring that we have competent trainers. We make sure that we have curricula that are properly reviewed to reflect the needs of the healthcare sector in the Republic of Kenya, and also to reflect the global healthcare needs. As an institution, we also ensure that we have the proper equipment and skills laboratories that enable us to produce the very best of human resources for health who are competent.
So for you, is that the model that you have has you working at plugging the current deficit that we're having in as far as medics? You've talked about medics and such, but then I would want to know further, you know, at a time when students are quite, you know, conscious about employability and the quality. With the numbers that you have in terms of those who are seeking their studies to further their studies under KMTC, what is unique about KMTC that we keep getting the records of new students?
KMTC produces over 85% of human resources for health,
yes,
who work in private sector and in public sector. The demand for graduates of Kenya Medical Training College continues to rise, not only locally, but internationally. KMTC has uniquely molded itself to create a competitive advantage to supply the most competent human resources for health. We do that through several strategies. Number one is through ensuring we're able to offer more than the medical courses. For example, we offer foreign languages that allow our students at their last final year of study to be able to prepare for job markets in various destinations where they have chosen to go and work after completing their training at Kenya Medical Training College. For example, we offer German, we offer French, we offer Arabic. Now we are offering and preparing to offer Amharic.
All right.
And that allows us to create opportunities for those who want to work outside the country.
So beyond the usual nursing or other courses, you're also doing value add, so to speak. So before we speak value add, address the issue of brain drain. We see in as much as we are training graduates year in, year out to qualify to plug this particular gap that we're having in the country, they are qualifying, finishing their studies and seeking employment elsewhere. How do we ensure that we do not continue losing this human resource that is very well trained, as you've said?
I view labor mobility in various ways. I see it as a way of also enriching our level of understanding of global health scenario. As Kenya Medical Training College, we have expanded our infrastructure, the number of campuses we have, to create opportunities for more learners to apply and be at Kenya Medical Training College. Currently, we have 92 campuses. Last year alone, we graduated 22,776 graduates. And at the same time, last year, we put in our admission 34,000 new learners in our institution, courtesy to the President's agenda of ensuring we have infrastructure, we have tutors, we have the equipment that we need to ensure that we offer competent human resources for health. So we want to assure the country that we are capable of producing human resources for health for local and international consumption.
So from where you sit, sir, for you, labor mobility is just one of the ways to enrich our capacity, so to speak. There are those who view KMTC as an institution that solely does, or rather focuses on or rather human resource trained for the medical field, so to speak, especially nurses and nursing. Can you unpack that? You know, you've talked about languages and such. Can I apply for another course to study something else other than nursing from KMTC?
KMTC offers 126 courses. Can you imagine that?
Wow, I only knew of
nursing is just one of them.
One of the 120?
Yes,
okay.
126.
126.
In Kenya Medical Training College, we have, apart from nursing sciences, we have pharmaceutical sciences, that is pharmaceutical technology. We have diagnostic sciences faculty, and under this, we have medical laboratory sciences, we have medical imaging sciences, we have health information and technology, we have health records and information technology, we have medical education, we have preventive and promotive health. So here we have health promotion, we have public health, we have health counseling. So Kenya Medical Training College offers courses that are tailored for primary health care in line with government's agenda and the Ministry of Health's agenda to ensure that we are able to prevent diseases before we are able to start treating them, and therefore reduce the amount of money we use for curative purposes. When we use 1 shilling at primary healthcare level, at preventive level, we are able to save 9 shillings at upstream during curative services. And that is what KMTC is gearing towards, to make sure that we train health workers who are able to work at the lowest level, community level, and ensure that we reduce costs emanating from healthcare.
Now that you've talked about the community health nursing, we understand that you have partners like the World Bank and Beyond Zero. What does this really mean about how does it impact, with aligning with Kenya's real health needs, so to speak?
We have programs like what we call Enrolled Community Nursing, which is a certificate course which was tailored to ensure that arid and semi-arid areas of this republic are able to access health personnel who are able to manage conditions that could easily cause death. For example, we have currently a situation where previously 15 counties in arid and semi-arid areas of the Republic of Kenya were contributing to 90% of maternal, newborn and child mortality in the Republic of Kenya. Because of collaboration with partners like World Bank and these counties, Kenya Medical Training College has been able to train 1,544 enrolled community nurses who are able to work at very remote areas of the Republic of Kenya, thereby enabling access to healthcare to the most vulnerable in the remotest part of this country. Through that means, we have been able to work with counties and other partners to significantly reduce maternal and child health. Child mortality in the Republic of Kenya.
With your partners, the working with your partners has increased your capacity. And now talking about capacity, you mentioned that you have now 92 campuses. When someone hears 92 campuses from KMTC, what comes into mind is the human resource and the equipment, required to ensure that these particular campuses continue to met out the training, or rather learning as it should in that capacity. So how are you ensuring that there are no staff shortages and the equipment or the campuses are equipment ready?
His Excellency the President and the Ministry of Health have focused on ensuring that KMTC is properly supported budget-wise. For example, as we talk right now, we have, through the affordable hostel accommodation, what we call student villages. We have a plan underway to ensure that 57 of our campuses have improved hostels and new hostels for students. We have, through the support of the Ministry of Health, been able to put resources to be able to employ more human resources for health. And we also have a lot of strength when it comes to partnership with counties. And counties have supported by seconding additional staff to Kenya Medical Training College to support training of human resources for health.
So I think, Daktari, the question of understaffing and lack of equipment for you is just something that people talk about. That is good. Now, we have a recent development in regard to that particular matter, is that KMTC higher diplomas have been equated to a bachelor's degree, right? And how does this strengthen, career progression and also confidence, from middle level training, looking ahead?
First, it allows our graduates to easily access competitive employment that enables them to perform at levels that allows them to access promotions at workplace. Second, it allows for progression academically that enables our graduates to access higher education because of higher diploma that they have achieved at Kenya Medical Training College. And third, it is a way of enabling the country access specialized human resources skills at remote parts of this country. You are very much aware that specialists at higher levels like master's level are concentrated in our urban centers. Yes. But our graduates at higher diploma who provide alternative support for specialist areas work with the communities and therefore improving access to service delivery, improving access to specialized care in these areas, and therefore improving the quality of care that our Mwananchi are exposed to.
All right, that brings us to our first break in this candid conversation. Remember, you can get us on our socials as well as we are streaming live, so you can keep tabs of this particular conversation. We are engaging none other than the CEO of KMTC there, with 92 campuses, all fully equipped, no shortage in terms of human resource, and saying that indeed this is an institution to watch in the future. We take a quick breather. When we come, we need to know how this then what it really means in the medical value chain, other than the medical value chain when it comes to matters of employability in the country. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to Nairobi. I invite you to be part of something that truly matters. The Connected Africa Summit 2026, to be held in Nairobi from the 27th to 30th April 2026.
This is a very important unifying platform for the continent to bring leadership in technology, policymakers, professionals to have conversations on issues that affect the continent.
Connected Africa Summit 2026 is more than an event. It is where ideas meet opportunity.
Together, we will explore emerging technologies, deepen collaboration, and unlock solutions that drive inclusive growth.
Let's get connected in Connected Africa Summit 2026. Meet you there.
Welcome back. As we bring this conversation to an end, we'd want to hear from our guest this evening, the CEO of KMTC. In where we find ourselves, Dr. Kelly Oluoch, we're finding ourselves in the era of technology. Is KMTC equipped, to train its students in light of this change in ecosystem?
KMTC is well placed to provide training and future-proof our graduates when it comes to technology. Just to state that last year, KMTC won the CIO 100 award, Africa Award in digital adaptability. We also got an award, the first runners-up for tertiary institutions, that is including universities, when it comes to making available internet resources for learners across all the institutions, tertiary institutions in Kenya. Now, KMTC does this by ensuring that we have, number one, simulated laboratories. Simulated laboratories enable our students and learners to be able to simulate real-life experiences in laboratories to enable them to learn more about various conditions that affect human beings. Secondly, we have embraced technology like ERP. Our students are able to access their marks, they are able to access their fee payment status, and all the operations of the institutions, both core and non-core mandate of the institution, are on a platform. Okay. We also have a very robust e-learning platform that enables our learners to be able to actually access materials online. And also we also have an e-library that allows our students to access learning materials remotely, even when they are not at the campus.
So there's no worry about AI. Now, as we bring this to a close, this is the last question. We've been having a challenge in the quality of education that is offered across some vocational institutions, so to speak. From where you sit, would want to hear, is there a day in time that degree holders, certificate holders from KMTC will be worried that what they invested in, in terms of time, education, is going to be watered down because of policy or, such issues, so to speak? Give us that assurance as we bring this to a close. And also, maybe you can tell us, in the future, what does it portend for KMTC?
Kenya Medical Training College is one of the most regulated institutions of higher education because all the regulatory bodies in the framework of healthcare regulate the training at Kenya Medical Training College. That ensures that as we train, we adhere to the highest standards of quality. Besides that, Kenya Medical Training College courses are accredited by KNQA, and all our over 96 courses are properly accredited to enable us to be able to translate them even at international levels. KMTC is also ISO certified institution, meaning that all our quality management systems are accredited. And with that, we continue to ensure that we embrace the strictest level of regulation to make sure that our courses remain relevant, remain as per the framework of training at the ministry and framework for training for the education in Kenya.
So we shouldn't be worried as parents and those who are seeking to join KMTC?
I want to assure you that Kenya Medical Training College sticks to the highest levels of standards.
Any chance of getting duped when I'm seeking admission in this particular institution?
Currently, Kenya Medical Training College is carrying out its admission, and the deadline for admission is 6th of May. And we do this in collaboration with Kenya University Central Placement Services. And I want to warn the public of those who may want to dupe them, because admission at Kenya Medical Training College happens through the KUPS platform, and no one should tell you that there is another way of getting admitted at Kenya Medical Training College. Make sure that you go to any of our campuses, and in collaboration with KUPS, we will be able to support anyone who wants to seek training at Kenya Medical Training College. If you are in doubt, please ask and make sure that you get support from the nearest KMTC campus. We are lucky to have 92 campuses across the Republic of Kenya in 45 of our 47 counties.
All right, very well said. We have been discussing courses and qualifications, and our guest in studio has been none other than the CEO of KMTC there, that is Dr. Kelly Olwoch. And that brings the end to our conversation this evening. Remember, further details are available on our website should you want to capture the details there mentioned. Now we go global, so to speak. One suspect has been arrested following the White House shooting incident at a correspondents' dinner held at Washington. According to the reports given by U.S. President Donald Trump, one officer was shot during the confrontation but survived. The event was meant to bring together senior government officials, diplomats, and members of the press in what is traditionally a celebration of journalism and the presidency. Our reporter Aaron Marie has the details.
The dinner was about raising money for promising young journalism students from across the country who receive financial assistance from the White House Correspondents Association, not knowing that the dinner would end up so abruptly in a shooting incident. Moments before the incident, President Trump was seated alongside First Lady Melania Trump and other dignitaries. Multiple gunshots rang out inside the venue on Saturday evening, triggering panic among guests as security moved in swiftly to contain the situation. Secret Service agent quickly shielded the president and escorted him out of the ballroom. One officer was shot at a close range during the confrontation but survived. Authorities have since confirmed that the suspect, identified as Cole Thomas Allen, a 31-year-old man from Torrance, California, is in custody. He is reported to have been armed with multiple weapons and is expected to face several federal charges. While leaders have condemned the attack, terming it as a threat to democratic institutions, while expressing relief that no fatalities were reported. The White House has assured the public that security measures remain robust despite the incident. Reporting for Sunday Express, I'm Aaron Murray.
Nini unataka kuruka? Inasimagwa hivyo. Kwa nataka unipeleka hapa kwa stage. Lipa kwanza. Hautaiba, hii ni mpya. Everything is clean. Arrange me. Ndio hiyo sasa nitakulipa hiyo tarehe 7. Ndio yangu nayo ilalangi. Kwenda kabisa.
Takula hivyo vibaya kama mtoto mdogo ya class, tu hata mtoto mdogo ya class tu akabatali.
Nani? Huu naye iko wapi?
Mokaka selisha rensen kitambo na akaenda.
Kama wanajeshi wale wa kukagua gwaride. Unajua hauzeeki kabisa.
Ulikuwa unataka nizeke unipeleke buchari gani?
Sasa hii mokaka hakuna. Takasi iko mzuri namna gani? Hii ni kazi gani unaweza ambia watu ni kazi?
Welcome back. Now to the counties where stakeholders in the real estate sector have welcomed the government's digitization of land registries, describing it as a major step towards improving land ownership and restoring public trust. Details of this and other stories in our county news roundup.
Speaking in Joro constituency during the issuance of 95 title deeds to beneficiaries of a 77-acre parcel of land sold to private developers, the stakeholders noted that digitization is opening investment opportunities for youth and women.
Nakuru County is fully digitized. So you just go to Adisasa, you can check your land rates on Adisasa, you can know how far your title process is, and this is one of the best things that have happened in the lands offices. So today we gave 95 title deeds to all our customers, and we have got about 410 titles to give, and those are the people who wanalipa mdogo mdogo.
In Nairobi, the family of the late Shakri Abdu, a 19-year-old who was allegedly shot by police officers early this year in Imara Daima, has expressed concern over the possible release on bond of the accused officers. They say repeated adjournments at the Milimani and Makadara courts have delayed justice, raising fears that the case may take longer than expected.
Mimi nataka tu usaidizi kwa serikali na hata kwa watu wetu, sababu sisi hatuna lawyer. Hii kazi ilikuwa nasukuma na haipoa lawyer yao. Mali imefika sasa mpaka jamaa anasema atanataka bond cash bill, ati nimekaa sana hapa na aliua mtu bila hatia yote.
In Manyata constituency, the presiding bishop of Victoria's Gospel Ministries, James Njenga, has called for political restraint and unity as the country approaches the election period. Speaking during the ordination of Moses Mugendi, Bishop Njenga urged leaders and residents of the Mount Kenya region to respect the presidency.
Hata kama hampendi anayewaongoza, nyamazeni, wacheni nyumbani polepole, usitamke maneno. Pray for your readers so that they may read you in peace.
Youths in Kakamega County have launched the Kimbilia Kadi initiative to promote voter registration ahead of the 2027 general election. The campaign, led by the long-distance runner Mungata Akideos, aims to mobilize young people to acquire voter cards and take part in the electoral process.
Leo kila kilomita ambayo tumekimbia ni kuhakikisha kuwa kuna kijana yule ambaye hajajitokeza kuchukua kura. Kwa hivyo kila kilomita ambayo tumekimbia, chukua jukumu hilo kuhakikisha kuwa hiyo kilomita kusaidia wewe ukimbie au utembee ufike kwenye kituo cha kuchukua kura, uchukue kura, ndivyo itakapofika 2027 tuone ile mabadiliko ambayo unataka.
Finally, the police have arrested 4 notorious peddlers in Molo Town in Nakuru County in a major operation aimed at flushing out barons behind illicit brews and hard drugs. Nakuru Police Commander Samuel Boyd led the operation that led to the seizure of 360 liters of ethanol, bang, estimated to be 500,000, gambling machines, a motorbike, and counterfeit cigarettes.
We organized ourselves and raided the place. During the operation, we were able to nab or to arrest 4 suspects who are engaged in the illegal use of ethanol and second-generation alcohol.
For Sunday Express, I am Teresa Mutai.
To sports now, Gor Mahia stretched their lead at the top of the table to 6 points after edging out arch-rivals AFC Leopards 1-0 in a pulsating Mashemeji derby that was held at the Nyayo National Stadium, a match that stirred every possible emotion in the stands. Elsewhere, KCB FC and Kakamega Homeboys played out to a 1-1 draw.
From the first whistle, the atmosphere was electric. Gor Mahia fans rolled with belief and expectation, their chants echoing across the stadium, while Ingwe supporters answered back with equal passion, hopeful their side would upset the league leaders. On the pitch, that energy translated into a fierce, balanced contest. The first half ended goalless, leaving both sets of fans tense but optimistic. After the break, Kogalo began to assert dominance, and the supporters sensed a breakthrough was coming. Every forward move drawing louder anticipation. Then came the defining moment in the 84th minute. Alpha Onyango struck and the stadium erupted.
Inaletwa ndefu huku. Cheza Emmanuel Wangu. Unyuna. Inarudishwa ndani huku. Alpha!
At full time, it was pure elation for Kogalo's faithful, who now see the title within touching distance as their team climbs to 61 points.
Ukiangalia second half tumemiliki game, ukiangalia ukweli kabisa ni ile tu wamekuwa tu black wakapata bao. Kelly na Benjamin at least wameleta electric na lax first half. Na siku at least iliweza kustabilize game. Na ni bahati mbaya wacha tuseme.
We looked at exactly what they were made of. And so we strategized everything. And in the second half, in the first half, you realize that we were better, we controlled the game, they couldn't operate, and that is exactly what we planned.
Elsewhere, KCB and Kakamega Homeboys played out to a 1-1 draw. For Sunday Express, I'm Daniel Wendwa.
I might as well just say that, yes, Kogalo, we are leading the pack, isn't it? All right. Now, President of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, NOC, Shadrack Maluke, has announced the launch of a fundraising initiative aimed at boosting preparations for Team Kenya ahead of this year's Commonwealth Games. Speaking during the unveiling of the initiative, Maluke said the move is intended to complement government funding and ensure Kenyan athletes are adequately prepared for the global showpiece.
With only 100 days left before the commencement of the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Kenya has stepped up its preparations as it seeks to send a largest contingent to this year's edition. NOC President has emphasized that while the government has continued to support sports, additional resources are necessary to meet the growing demands of international competition.
I also want to take the opportunity to tell the Kenyans that the government supports a lot. All we are trying to do is supplement as the National Olympic Committee, come up with ways of also supporting the government contribution. It's not always relying on the government. So the current National Olympic Committee is looking at ways of getting funds outside the government.
94 Kenyan athletes have so far qualified for this year's edition, including women's and men's 3x3 basketball team, rugby sevens team, and athletics team, including Patrick Odongo, Kevin Wekesa, Boniface Mweresa, Westman Were, Mike Mokamba, and Para Rowa Asia Sururu.
So I think there's potential to do even more and make even more of Kenya's sporting brilliance. And I think we want to build and work with Friends of Karua and Kenya Forest Service and this Friends of Karua running series to see how we can create more mass participation opportunities.
Kenya will be seeking to clinch more medals in this year's edition of the Commonwealth Games after 94 athletes already confirmed their participation after they qualified to feature in this year's edition. Reporting for Sunday Express from Karura Forest, my name is Frederick Mwoki.
All right, now the 47th edition of the Africa Senior Judo Championship, which Kenya was hosting for the first time, culminated in style on Sunday afternoon at the Kasarani Indo Arena. Algeria finished top of the medal standings in the individual category with 4 golds, 1 silver and 4 bronze medals. Tunisia finished second while Egypt secured a third place. Team Kenya delivered a landmark performance with Olympian Zedi Cherotich clinching a historic bronze medal in the women's under 78 kg category.
You can see the standards have really improved in the judo, and because of him, and because we are getting a lot of support from the International Judo Federation. The women seem to have adapted the change very fast. Boys are still out there, but they are trying. But I can say a lot of medals that we have gotten from African championships are coming from the girls.
Equity Bank's men volleyball club secured their first win at the ongoing Africa Men's Club Championship in Kigali, Rwanda, after a composed 3-1 victory over Angels of Cote d'Ivoire. The team will now shift focus to its fixtures, aiming to build on the confidence gained from the victory as the competition intensifies. Well, that effectively puts a cap on matters Sunday Express tonight. And we end this on a high note, just remembering that Sebastian Sawe has just proven to the world that indeed a human can run a marathon under 2 hours unassisted. I do hope that this indeed adds more than just a feather to his cap as an athlete there. I'm Regina Manyara. My colleague on sign language has been none other than Byron Abuli. Thank you to the team that has made it possible, both behind the scenes as well as those are in charge of sound. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant week ahead.